So there's an update. There's been an update on the Winnemuca shooting. There's a shooting. There's a guy who has a ranch, and then some other guy was trespassing on his ranch, and he was rifling through his stuff, and he had stole a gun from the car, and then he took the gun that he stole out of the car, and he shot the rancher. And I'm not even for sure why the Humboldt County officials, why they feel the need to even update this damn story, but let's get to the details. So this has to do with Fairchild. This has to do with Ravyn Fairchild and Delong, Will Delong. So Will Delong is the rancher. Ravyn Fairchild is the guy who is trespassing on someone else's property. Now apparently this Ravyn Fairchild had gone to college and he knew like computer information systems or something. I don't know. I don't know either one of these two people. I just know that this was a situation that had happened, and I didn't like the way the media had presented the case because they didn't really tell us a damn thing about what had happened. So maybe that's why the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, they released new details about the shooting that had happened on October 6, 2024 in Humboldt County around 8:30 p.m. So they responded to a 911 call, the Sheriff's Office of Humboldt County. They go to the residence of Will Delong on Jackson Creek Ranch Road. Then they revealed, after an investigation, the investigation revealed that William Delong had got shot in the abdomen by a suspect later identified as Ravyn Fairchild, who they say had stolen a handgun from a car on Delong's property. Then they say that Fairchild fired on Delong when he was discovered burglarizing his cars. And then William Delong returned fire in self-defense, which struck and killed Fairchild. And then William Delong is going to later succumb to his injuries sustained from the gunshot wound on November 13th. So he's going to live for a month and 7 days. So already we still don't know the damn story. If the guy was still alive for a month, then what did he say that had happened? Did the guy's going to get shot? It looks like they both shot one shot. So Ravyn Fairchild pulls out a gun, shoots Delong in the stomach, and then Delong, did he have a gun on him? Did he go get a gun? He comes and gets the gun, has a gun on him, and he shoots where? Ravyn Fairchild? In the head? In the eyeball? We're not being told. Then a review of the events by the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, including witness interviews, scene and forensic analysis, revealed that Fairchild was committing multiple felonies at the time of his death. The Sheriff's Office says. Multiple felonies. Then they're going to say a toxicology report obtained by the Washoe County Medical Examiner's Office indicated that Fairchild was under the influence of amphetamines and methamphetamines. What's amphetamines? What's the difference between methamphetamines and regular amphetamines? Are you on that meth? No, just regular amphetamines. Are you on that souped up amphetamine? Is that what meth is? Meth is just souped up amphetamines? I don't know anything about meth. There's something about Sudafed. You get meth heads that buy some Sudafed and then they mix it in a pot and they put some, I don't know, cinnamon or something in it. So, an investigation conducted by the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office and in agreement with the Humboldt County's DA's office concluded that Delong was justified in using force. Well, let's see here, Humboldt County Sheriff's Office and DA. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Let's put that in the no fucking shit Sherlock file. What you told us was a little bit of information. You had the rancher, and then you had somebody else that was on the rancher's property. Is it justified? Isn't it justified? They did give more information, but it almost seems like they didn't tell us the whole story. You got witness interviews. So who saw what? Scene and forensic analysis. So that means you knew the person was standing this way and that way, and then the person probably did this. And then also, William Delong got shot one time in the stomach. One time in the stomach, and that killed him. He was done for. That was it. That's all she wrote. He's going to kick the bucket after that. Humboldt County's got a hospital in the county. So how come he died? From a gunshot wound to the stomach? What kind of rounds are in that gun? And then it doesn't sound like he would have gone and got the gun and shot the person. Because if you're pointing the gun at him and you shoot the stomach and he's going to go get a gun, then you would have more opportunities. Again, Kevin Sheridan. He's the one that wrote this fucking article. You still didn't give us the damn story. So we know a little bit more. The guy's on meth. The guy's rifling through the guy's stuff. The guy stole the guy's gun. You know? All those things combined. Yes, probably not Jehovah's Witness. If you're Jehovah's Witness, you'd go up, you'd knock on the door. If nobody answers, then you put a little pamphlet, you know, in the door or on the thing, on the window ledge. Put a rock on top of it, put it underneath the mat, and then you'd walk away. So if the person isn't walking up to your house, knocking on the door, putting a piece of paper, and then walking away, if you're conducting legitimate business, you should really just be there on the porch for less than 30 seconds. So if you come back to your house and somebody is just there inside your car, you should suspect some fucking bullshit's going down. Of course you should. Like no fucking shit, Sherlock. Here's another article. Winnemuca, Nevada. Comprehensive investigation by the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office concluded that Will Delong was justified in using deadly force against an armed burglar on his property near Winnemuca, authorities said. Like, this isn't even a hard one. This isn't even a close case. On October 6, 2024, deputies responded to a 911 call reporting a shooting at DeLong's residence on Jackson Creek Ranch Road. Who called the 911 call? Was that DeLong? Because if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, you just hear a couple gunshots. Well, hell, you got that one Aaron asshole. He just likes to fucking shoot at fucking random people anyways. He likes shooting towards his neighbors, shooting at his neighbors. He likes blowing up the fucking truck. Ravyn Fairchild had stolen a handgun from a vehicle on the property and stole DeLong and shot DeLong when he discovered Fairchild burglarizing vehicles, the sheriff's office said. In self-defense, DeLong returned fire, killing Fairchild on the scene. DeLong, who was shot in the abdomen, died from his injuries on November 13, 2024, while receiving treatment at Renown in Reno. So then, just, if you're William Delong, and you're just hanging out, you know, at your ranch, and then you got this, you know, Ravyn Fairchild who doesn't even trespass. He's not rifling through your stuff. He doesn't shoot you, but he shoots at you. What if he blew up one of the vehicles? He blew up one of the vehicles. He shot at you. He shot at you again. He keeps shooting at you. He brings his friends over to shoot at you. Would you think that that would be justified if William Delong had returned fire? I mean, that's an attempted murder, is it not? Somebody's shooting at you. Of course it would be. William Delong would be justified defending himself in that situation. So he received treatment at Renown in Reno. How come the hospital in Humboldt County couldn't take care of him? You're moving the guy around too much. When Robert Kennedy got killed, he said, don't move me. If you just, you know, your lung is about to collapse, you don't want to be moving the body all over the place. Pick him up. Sling him over your shoulder. No, don't move him. If anything, call the doctor. Get the hospital to the scene. You don't take the person to the hospital. You bring the hospital to the scene. Call the... I guess doctors don't carry their little medical bags anymore and make home visits. Is there anybody in the whole Humboldt County DA or Sheriff's Office that knows something about medicine? Maybe you might have to wrap up a splint. Of course, William Delong's actions were justified. The investigation included witness interviews, corroborating statements, forensic analysis. The authorities said they're just saying these things, or did you like have a packet of information that you didn't really want to read? Oh, here's a packet of information. We got to write an article about it now. The media is fucking terrible. Put all this shit together. The objective truth matters. So it sounds pretty much clear-cut and dry to me. William Delong was totally justified. Of course he was. But what's this Ravyn Fairchild story? Was he born and raised in Winnemuca? Is this one of Winnemuca's own? Or did somehow Ravyn Fairchild had a string of bad luck? Where are Ravyn Fairchild's parents at? Does Ravyn Fairchild have any family? Witness interviews. There were witnesses. What did the witnesses say? Corroborating statements. Who made corroborating statements? Forensic analysis. What did they say? And then they did a toxicology report on Fairchild, but they didn't do one on Delong. Toxicology reports, toxicology results from the Washoe County Medical Examiner's Office didn't come back for William Delong. Could he have been drunk? Like I said, even if he was drunk, he'd still be justified. Having illegal substances in your system does say something, and meth is such a nasty drug. You'll see just people melt, their faces will melt off. Had Fairchild had survived, he would have faced multiple charges, including burglary, grand larceny, possession of controlled substances, aggravated assault. Aggravated assault for shooting a fucking guy in the stomach? Why wouldn't it be attempted murder? The guy's going to die. That's attempted murder. Possession of controlled substances, so it wasn't just meth was in his system, but he actually had meth on him. Possession of controlled substances. Or are we talking about something else? Did he have heroin on him too? Did he have fentanyl? Burglary and grand larceny. What's grand larceny? Is that stealing? You stole over $1,000 worth of stuff? Sheriff Cardenas extended condolences to the Delong's family and friends, acknowledging the tragic loss of life during the incident. So that's nice. You know, RIP to Will Delong. I'd read some other article where he had actually got in some sort of, he had some sort of rancher thing, horses, cows. I think he was complaining about the horses. So that's the update for William Delong and Ravyn Fairchild. You gotta love the victim first, right? I know Jesus says you're supposed to love your enemies. That's a hard thing to do, to love your enemies. But before you love the criminal, you gotta love the victim first. So William Delong didn't deserve any of that. William Delong just shows up to his place and then sees somebody rifling through his stuff and then gets shot with his own gun. And what kind of damn bullet was in that gun? Because it's going to rip through his stomach enough to where they can't save him. One single shot to the stomach. And then that was it for William Delong. That was it. So once we, save William Delong, which we didn't save, he's dead now. So of course it's attempted murder. It is murder. Ravyn Fairchild wasn't just on meth and doing burglary. He didn't just do grand larceny. He didn't do an aggravated assault. He committed murder. And William Delong had shot in self-defense. William Delong had shot in self-defense and tried to save himself. He got justice. Justice is eye for an eye. So in a way, he saved the community. He saved his family. Hopefully, one of William Delong's family will go to that Jackson Creek Ranch and take care of it. Hopefully he's got people. Hopefully he's got some sort of next of kin. If he doesn't have children, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister. Because you want good people in your community, right? So it seems incredible to me that they even had to update this thing, but it's almost like What if Fairchild, let me just, pitch a couple incidents that happened to you, to me. So if Ravyn Fairchild had gone up to William Delong, acting like he was going to put his hands on him, like he was going to get violent, and William Delong said, hey, do you want to take us outside? Is that a fucking crime of the century? What if William Delong was just crossing the street and Ravyn Fairchild tried to run over him and said, get the fuck out of the fucking road? Tries to run into him, blocks his path, jumps out, stopping him from just crossing the damn street. Could William Delong defend himself then? So if somebody comes and gets all violent with you, you're allowed to just say, you want to take us outside? If somebody tries to run you over with a car and then jumps out in the middle of the road and blocks your path from going where you're going to, can you defend yourself then? How about if somebody swings a golf club at you? So William Delong is just minding his own damn business, and then Ravyn Fairchild starts swinging a golf club at him. Is William Delong allowed to defend himself then? And then what if Ravyn Fairchild was sitting there threatening Will Delong, not on his own property, but right on the road, right outside of his property? He was acting like he was going to run him over, like he was going to shoot him, like he was going to run his dog over. If William Delong was being threatened with serious bodily injury and or death by Ravyn Fairchild, would you think it's okay for William Delong to just fire 3 warning shots to let Ravyn Fairchild know that he means business? Would you think that's okay? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's fine. Self-defense is intelligence. Self-defense is the first law of nature. Self-defense should be in the Bill of Rights. But why do you think you have the Second Amendment? So you could be the aggressor? So you could go around robbing banks? So you could go around destroying people's property? So you could fucking shoot at your neighbors? Jesus said that you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. So even though he also said love your enemies, you should love your friends and you should love the victim before you care about the enemy, before you care about the criminal, the perpetrator. Because clearly Ravyn Fairchild needed some love too. And we'll talk about Ravyn Fairchild later on. But in this story, in this situation, he was the bad guy. He was clearly the villain. He was clearly Jafar. He was clearly Scar. He was clearly the wicked witch of the West. He was clearly the witch that's going to give Snow White the apple. It was this wicked stepmother and the wicked stepsisters that's trying to stop Cinderella from going to the ball. So William Delong, his entire point of moving into Humboldt County was to build himself a home because he wants to get a family and a career, get a wife, 2.5 kids, a career. He wanted to be a positive, progressive, and productive person in the community. Let's say he had a backstory. Let's say he came from a place of abuse in a crime-ridden neighborhood. So he wanted to build himself a home, an abuse-free home in a crime-free neighborhood. Would that be okay with Humboldt County? Would Humboldt County be okay with William Delong building himself a house so that way he could raise a family without beating the shit out of them, without abusing the kids, and without committing crimes in the neighborhood, and then making sure that the neighborhood didn't have criminals lurking about so that way his kids not only could run and play about on the ranch, but hell, maybe they could even go out in the street. Maybe they could do some boxcar derbies. Maybe they could go for a bike ride. Maybe they go on the road for a fucking walk. Would that be okay with you pricks? You should absolutely love that. Shouldn't you? Of course you should. Now, however, I'm going to submit to you something else. Sometimes people have problems with other people because they're a criminal, they're dangerous, they're mean, they got mortars and bombs and guns and they're violent and they like to steal and they like to rape and they like to assault. And they like to do a bunch of attempted murder. They like to shoot at you, blow up a fucking vehicle. They like to fuck with people. Just to fuck with people. And then sometimes people don't want to confront the dangerous people, so they would rather confront the non-dangerous person. The person that poses no threat. Let's take a look at a couple of incidents that have happened in Winnemuca. So in the Dollhouse Apartments, you had a man who got stabbed. He got stabbed in the stomach, and then his finger was cut off. The Winnemuca police are going to go to the Dollhouse Apartments, 755 West Minor Street, and then they found a woman that had his severed finger. Somehow she had the severed finger. I don't know if she had it in her hand, but she had it in her possession. The cop said, "You did that. It's a domestic violence situation. Who knows who started it? Who knows who provoked it? Who knows who hit what? Who didn't hit what? Did she have any marks on her? Or was he a sweetheart and then she just knew that she could get away with stabbing him and then slicing off a finger?" She's going to get charged with attempted murder. How come this Ravyn Fairchild wasn't going to get charged with attempted murder? She had a knife. He had a gun. His thing actually fucking killed the fucking guy. She stabbed the guy in the stomach. How's he going to live with a knife stab in the stomach, but the other guy died with a bullet wound in the stomach? Just a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of inconsistencies. The law is supposed to punish and protect evenly. So they're going to take the man to the Humboldt General Hospital, and then she's going to go to jail, and she's going to get charged with attempted murder, domestic battery with a deadly weapon resulting in substantial bodily harm. Well, that's a long-ass charge, but you know what? I like that, because it says specifically what had happened. If you just look up a fucking thing and you say, oh, assault, well, assault could just be somebody had threw glitter, right? There was that glitter bomb that was thrown on Newt Gingrich, and he kind of just laughed about it because they were trying to say his views on homosexuality isn't nice, and so they just threw a bunch of glitter on him. And then glitter, you know, glistens, right? So glitter makes you look beautiful. But he kind of got hit with some, you know, a little bit of pieces of glitter. He called that an assault. I would say getting shot in the stomach is assault. I would say getting stabbed in the stomach would be assault. Somebody shooting at you would be attempted assault, attempted murder, attempted assault, attempted something. So I like that they were very specific. What I don't like about this situation is you got the man who goes to the hospital. He didn't do anything. What was the story? What happened between the two? You only got 2 witnesses inside the thing, right? Except for what the people could hear from the outside. Who started it? What was the argument about? Why couldn't they separate themselves? Did they not have Hobbes's rules of nature? Do they not know that each one is allowed to defend themselves? If you hit me, I can defend myself. If I hit somebody else, they can defend themselves. That's just common sense. The domestic violence hotline, 775-421-1028, 775-625-1313. My guess is they probably wouldn't help you anyways. Figure your own shit out. Figure your own shit out. And if you're both hot-headed, one of you should just be the bigger person and just take a step outside for a minute. Because you don't want the thing to escalate. Go into a bedroom, go into a bathroom, lock yourself inside the bedroom or bathroom. Especially if you still want to carry the relationship on. Now, if they do something that's like, okay, you just went too fucking far. You just sliced off my finger. You know, I'm really considering not dating you anymore. I might not date you, and you just cut off my finger. I don't think you're a good person. I think you mean me to do harm. I think you mean to do me harm. There was also the incident in Winnemuca where you had 6 men who stole a gun from an elderly woman or an elderly man, some elderly. So 6 men stole an elderly person's gun. Well, why did they do that? Why did 6 men steal an elderly person's gun? Because the elderly person did something wrong, or because he was an easy lick? He was a hapless victim. They could fuck with him. One old man versus, or old woman versus 6 people. One old woman versus 6 men. So not only will people stand up against those who threaten them or mean them harm, do you have a right to self-defense? Do you have a right to commit crimes against people? Do you have a right to be the aggressor, the perpetrator, the predator? Do you have a right to strike first? And then last but not least, what else has Winnemuca done? So Winnemuca is going around stabbing people. Winnemuca is going around stealing guns. And we got Winnemuca. You got a Tyler Monsoon. This just happened January 2025. He's 27 years old. He drives all the way to Colorado to pick up a 15-year-old. He sent $800 to her. If you went all the way to Colorado, that means you had to drive, through New Mexico, Arizona. You had to go through Utah. That's a fucking haul. Even if you go, from the south of Nevada, that's still a 4-hour drive up to Winnemuca from Las Vegas. At least 4 hours, isn't it? So this Tyler Monsoon, 27-year-old, he's on a $250,000 bond. He claims that she had said that she was 18. They had exchanged nudes. Now, you can barely read this story because there was a paywall on the Elko fucking news daily press or whatever. So this whole story is a secret story. I was able to, somebody took screenshots of it and then posted it on Facebook. But he's being charged with leading, taking, enticing, and inveigled. He inveigled a 15-year-old. What the hell does inveigled mean? Let's take a look at what inveigled means. Inveigled is to persuade someone to do something by means of deception or flattery. So that's a... whatever. So that's the charge that he is faced with. So why would a 27-year-old take a 15-year-old? Not just take her from the end of the road to the other end, not just from one town to another town, not just crossing one state line to another state line, but that's, isn't that the same thing that one fucking guy did? That one congressman with the hair? What's his name? So why would anybody be doing any of this stuff? Is it because the 15-year-old constituted a threat? Did the man constitute a threat to the woman? Is that why she stabbed him? Or was he just sweet and they were arguing? He's just as likely to have done something to her. So that one's a little iffy. You got 2 people in a room. One person, they contradict the other person. You don't really know what happened. If you got 2 people that's in a room and their stories contradict, then you'll need witnesses and you'll need evidence in order to figure out the objective truth. You need objective truth to put objective justice on top of objective truth. Oh, you blame Lee Harvey Oswald and then you shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald? Well, there you go. That's justice. What about the second gunman on the grassy knoll? What about the connections to the mob? What about LBJ and what he was wanting? What about the FBI, the CIA, and Kennedy was saying he was going to splinter the CIA into 1,000,000 pieces. Maybe they did it just to save themselves. You got to have the objective truth in order to get objective justice. Oh, 9/11 was done by Saudi Arabia. So then you attacked Afghanistan and Iraq for what Saudi Arabia did? And they've gotten away with it still today? How the fuck is that justice? How is that justice? It's not justice. And then 6 men stealing a gun from an elderly person, an elderly man or woman. They didn't steal the gun from the elder because the elder posed a threat to them. They stole the gun from the elder because they wanted a gun. Had nothing to do with the elder. The elder was an innocent, hapless victim who could be picked on, who could be fucked with, and they wanted that fucking gun. Jordan Peterson helped me out with this because come up with a philosophy of evil. If you've always been committed to goodness, then you might be bewildered because you keep on putting your good self and your good intentions on everybody else. But what if people are just fucking with you they're sadistic, they want to see violence, they just like seeing people get hurt, they just want to rape, it's about lust, rape, assault, they want to steal, they want to take something of yours. And then you don't want them to take something of yours, and then it escalates, and oh shit, now you're shot and killed. People could do crimes, they could hurt other people because they are a danger to themselves, or they're a danger to the person who defended themselves or to other people. You have a right to defend yourself, you have a right to defend others. You don't have a right to be the aggressor. You don't have a right to drive over to the other person's house and do anything, really. There's only a limited amount of reasons why you could go over to a neighbor's house and knock on their door. If you're Jehovah's Witness, if there's some sort of emergency, if you're petitioning, that's the First Amendment, right? You got a right to petition. So if you're like, hey, I want to sign a petition to get this gold mine out of the fucking community. Now, the fucking gold mine, that's a bunch of multinational corporations, and all they're doing is just sucking our natural resources, and they're shipping it out of state. They're taking our wealth. They're stealing our wealth. They're not hiring hardly anybody. They're not creating hardly any damn jobs. They're putting all this traffic. They're putting all this traffic on the road. So you go around with a petition trying to get that gold mine out of your fucking neighborhood. You're allowed to go up the fucking street, up the walk, onto the porch, knock, knock, knock. If they don't answer the door, I would usually get 3 no's before I would just walk away. So if the person comes out to talk to you, what are you about? And then when I was petitioning, I would just, I'm John Masters. I'm here with Work in America, and I'm out here fighting for children's health care. Oh, okay, what do you want? Just a signature? Just your name on a piece of paper? If you could donate. And then I would ask them to write a little letter to the congressman. And then I would swing back around, just post the note on your door. I'll swing back around, and I'll take the note, and then I'll turn all that in. You're allowed to organize your community, but it was all business. So those would be the only few reasons why somebody could come and knock on your door. If they're camping out, it could be an emergency. Hear them out. And then if you're not there, then, you can't really tell for sure, right? If you weren't there and somebody had shown up, but they left a little pamphlet, maybe they were Jehovah's Witness. Maybe the Jehovah's Witness. So what I'm saying is make sure you're at your house. Make sure you're at your house. Make sure you're not just an absentee landlord,